Celebrate tiramisu, come on! Today we're making tiramisu. It's a delicious layered kind of parfait thing with coffee-soaked ladyfingers we made yesterday, and then a mascarpone whipped cream fluffy filling. So yummy. So we made our ladyfingers yesterday. We've got them here. I'm gonna make a coffee syrup type thing that we're gonna soak them in. So I've got 2 cups of coffee here. You can also use instant coffee if that's all you've got. I added a 1/4 cup of sugar to it while it was still hot, so it melted in. And then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of frangelico. Normally tiramisu is made with Kahlua, but I do not have that. Plus frangelico is delicious, so in that goes. Yum! You can use definitely Kahlua. You can just leave out the liqueur if you don't want any alcohol in there too. Just coffee. You still want it to be bitter because your cream's gonna be really sweet, but I like a little sugar in there, so that's why we added the sugar. So I'm just gonna set that to the side and then get started on our filling. So we're gonna need 1 1/4 cups of whipping cream whipped up to soft peak. So I'm gonna start that in my bowl and then we'll go from there. So our cream is all whipped up here, so you can see it's still very soft. It's not clustering on my whisk, so that's perfect. So we're just gonna pop that in the fridge and then get started on our egg mixture. So we're gonna do a water bath again to cook our eggs and make sure they're all safe to eat. So in this bowl, I have 1/2 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of the frangelico liqueur. Normally this is made with Marsala wine, which I do not have, but frangelico is delicious, so we're gonna use that. And then I also have 4 egg yolks, and I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. And that's everything that's going in here. So I'm gonna whisk that together a little. We're gonna cook it over our water bath, which is just a little bit of water in a pot that's simmering. I'm gonna stick this on top and we'll whisk it up until we can't feel any sugar left in it. The egg whites that I had, I just put them into a Ziploc bag and I'm gonna toss them in the freezer. They freeze really well, so the next time you wanna make angel food cake, you'll be all prepared. Awesome, we'll get whisked. Okay, so I've been stirring this over a water bath. So I got my bowl with the eggs and then, ooh, steamy. Our water's just simmering and then the bottom of the bowl is not touching the bottom of the water. We don't want them to touch, we're just trying to steam it. So I've just been stirring this for a couple minutes. You gotta stir it constantly or else it's gonna cook your eggs at the bottom of your bowl. And then if you wanna know if your eggs are cooked, just take a little bit, rub it between your fingers, and you shouldn't feel any grains of sugar, and it should feel relatively warm to the touch, pretty getting on hot. If you want to thermometer it, I believe the temperature is 165 degrees Fahrenheit is when your eggs are cooked and safe, but this seems good, so I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna dump this into the bowl of my mixer, and then I'm gonna whisk it on high for a couple minutes till it gets really fluffy. You can do it by hand, but I'm lazy and I have a mixer, so I'm gonna do that. All right, we'll start that now. So our eggs have whipped up in the mixer, so they're super fluffy and marshmallowy now. So we're gonna get 1 1/4 cups of mascarpone cheese, which is kind of like a cream cheese. It doesn't taste like cream cheese at all, but texturally. And it's just basically really thickened whipped cream, so it's very rich and delicious. And then we're gonna add all of our eggs to this and just lightly fold them together. We're trying to keep in the volume we've just whipped up. And if your mascarpone cheese is at room temperature, that's perfect. So I'm just doing a little folding motion to gently mix those into the mascarpone until it's all incorporated. Awesome. So this is a very light dessert. So good. Okay. Trying to squish out any big cream or mascarpone cheese lumps. That looks pretty good. And then we're gonna add our whipped cream we had from before. So I'm gonna start with about 1/3 or half of it, just so we don't super deflate everything. And again, just lightly folding that in. And then once that's in, we will add the last bit, and then that's our filling. And then we get to do our layering. So we'll get started on that in a minute. Now that our filling is all done, we're gonna start layering. So you need a big dish, ideally a pretty glass dish. It would probably be easier if it was square, but I don't have one. And then your ladyfingers, homemade or store-bought, whatever you've got. And we have our coffee syrup mixture. We're gonna dunk our ladyfinger in, let it get all soaked up on both sides, and then squish it into your pan. So we're gonna do a few layers of cream and a few layers of the ladyfingers. So I'm gonna fill up the bottom and then we'll get layering with the cream. So I've got 1 layer of soaked ladyfingers in the bottom, and by my counting, I should be able to do 3 layers of cookies and 3 layers of cream. So I'm gonna dump 1/3 approximately of our cream on top of this. A little extra. And then just smear it out to the edges. You wanna make sure you cover up all the ladyfingers. And then we just repeat with our soaked ladyfingers on top, all the way until we're done all of our ladyfingers and all of our cream. So I'll get started on that. So we got all of our cream and all of our ladyfingers layered in here. We got those 3 layers of cookies, 3 layers of cream. But depending on the shape of your container, maybe you'll get 2 layers, or you could even do them like in little wine glasses for individual servings, which would be super cute for when we can have dinner parties. And then the last thing you gotta do is sprinkle cocoa powder on top. And this looks beautiful, but also adds a little bit of bitterness, which helps cut the sweetness of the cream. And then just pop this in the fridge, ideally overnight, to help it kind of soak in together and be super yummy, but as long as you can resist until you need to dig in this. Awesome, so that is our tiramisu. I can't wait to see how all of yours turn out. Awesome, well have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.